Hello and welcome to my multicolor cube spotlight. In most draft sets, monocolor cards combine to create two color archetypes. In this cube, two color archetypes combine to create three color archetypes. For example, if you look at blue-black meal, it doesn't accomplish much by itself. You have to combine it with either blue-red or black-green, two archetypes which have graveyard synergies. This creates an environment where Grixis and Sultai have a lot of overlap, and each three-color archetype has a ton of cards to choose from. Let's look at blue-black a little closer. It consists of normal milling, as well as looting, which puts less cards in your graveyard, but allows to choose what you put there. There are also a few cards which benefit from having a stacked graveyard or being milled. More of this type of cards can be found in the next archetype, Black-Green Recursion. It has cards you can use even if they are in a graveyard, and cards that return creatures from graveyards. Each three-color archetype has access to three color cards. One charm, in this case Sultai Charm, one OK card, in this case Abomination of Gudul, and one great card, in this case Muldrotha the Gravetide. The great card should really pull the player towards an archetype and show what it is all about. Muldrotha establishes Sultai as a graveyard toolbox archetype. Black-green is also a part of Jund, which is assembled by combining it with black-red sacrifice. Some of the cards in this archetype make for good fodder, while other cards use that fodder as removal, as evasion, as a power and toughness buffer, or as a card advantage engine. The Jund Signpost card is Shattergang Brothers, which really takes advantage of the fact that you can recur permanents you sacrificed, and your opponents probably can't. Another thing that goes well with sacrifice are tokens. Red-white is the color combination dedicated to them. Most of the cards simply create tokens. There are also some cards which buff your creatures, but I tried to make them not too powerful because it would make white-red too self-sufficient. The Mardu Signpost card is Butcher of the Horde. Mardu is a more aggressive version of sacrifice, but Jund offers repeatable sources of fodder. White-red connects with green-red, which is all about creature power. Each token may not be powerful by itself, however together they can help assemble Formidable, or cast spells with Convoke. Rootkin Ally and Siege Worm help with cards caring about power of individual creatures. The Naya Signpost card is Gahiji Honored One, which serves both as a sizable creature and a token buffer. Power of a creature can also be boosted using +1 counters, and that's what blue-green is all about. It has cards that can put +1 counters on creatures you want to boost to 4 or 5 power. If a creature has counters already, Proliferate helps you add more. Some cards can move counters from one creature to another. The Timur Signpost card is Avalanche Tusker, a walking removal spell which fulfills Formidable almost by himself. If you want to place +1 counters, why not on a creature with evasion? White-green has many types of it. Flying, power-based evasion, protection from creatures, and even landwalk. Removal makes investing +1 counters dangerous. However, spells like Sejiri Shelter, Snakeskin Veil, or Dauntless Escort will help protect your creatures. The banned Signpost card is Stoic Angel. Flying and Vigilance makes it a perfect +1 counter carrier. Also, her passive ability is not a problem if you attack with one buffed creature instead of a few smaller ones. Protected creatures with evasion are also good aura carriers. White-black provides those auras, most of which give abilities and stat boosts. Cards with Bestow can be played as creatures if you need bodies. They also act as insurance against removal, together with cards like Lotus Eye Mystics, Mogis' Favor, and Rise to Glory. The Abzan Signpost card is Siege Rhino. Solid body and trample make it a good aura carrier, and the Drain ability may help against aggressive strategies. Auras are non-creature spells, which means they combine well with Prowess. Most of the cards in the blue-white archetype have either Prowess or a variation of Prowess. Spells which can be cast multiple times are another part of this archetype. The Esper Signpost card is Zur the Enchanter. It can fetch auras from your library, and flying makes it a good target for them. As mentioned before, Prowess likes recastable spells. Blue-red provides that with Flashback, Jumpstart, Escape and Retrace. Some cards can return instants and sorceries from your graveyard. The Jeskai Signpost card is Elsha of the Infinite. Casting instants and sorceries from the top of your deck provides card advantage, and Prowess is a great bonus. We come full circle to Blue-Black Mill. Its synergy with Blue-Red Flashback is self-explanatory. Mill spells from your library, then cast them with Flashback. The Grixis Signpost card is Kes, Dissident Mage. She effectively gives flashback to instants and sorceries in your graveyard. Even if your spells already had flashback, Kes makes their flashback cost lower. By now, you've got the most important information. But if you want to stay a little longer, I will talk about mana fixing and one more feature. Fixing is provided in multiple ways. There are artifacts which can search for lands, add mana, filter mana, or scry and cantrip. Next, we have a few colored spells which do the same thing, and, most important, lands. The basis consists of fetch lands, one for each color pair. They allow you to search for dual lands, like shock lands, or cycling lands from Amonkhet. Unfortunately, the cycling lands appear only in allied colors. It was counteracted by adding wedge lands from Ikoria, which also have cycling and are fetchable. There are 10 lands which can be considered 5-color. Also, each player will get one free color tap land and a slow fetch of their choice. This will happen outside of the draft as insurance that everyone gets at least some fixing. There is also a lot of cards from Zendikar Rising which can function as lands. If you draw one of them and don't have appropriate mana, you can play them as lands, which will provide that mana for future spells. Some of those cards even fit into the archetypes. To prevent flooding, the cube has a few cards which enable picking up lands from the battlefield. This means that a land played in the early game may be used as a spell later. Land bouncers are also useful with cycling lands, which can be exchanged for fresh cards from the top. 3-color archetypes, sharing 2-color archetypes with each other, is not the only type of overlap in this cube. The last feature I want to talk about is that each 2-color archetype has 6 cards that fit other 2-color archetypes. Drudge Beetle fits to black-green recursion because it can be used while in a graveyard, and to blue-green +1 counters because it can place counters on creatures. This means you can use it to full effect not only in archetypes corresponding to black-green, Sultai and Jund, but in Timur and Bant as well. The cube was not tested yet, so really most of the things said here are just theory. It may turn out that still the best strategy is to draft 2 colors, for example Blue-Black Mill combined with blue cards from Blue-Red Flashback and black cards from Black-Green Recursion. Nevertheless, I hope you like the idea. The links to the list and draft simulator are in the description together with tags which will help you navigate this cube. Leave a comment here or on Reddit, or use my email if you have any thoughts about my cube or the way it was presented. I would really appreciate the feedback because cube making is my passion. If this cube doesn't show it, my future cubes will. Thanks for watching.